Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jay, and this is Football Talk. And in this one, I am back with another College Football 25 reaction. And this one, we got College Football 25 Dynasty gameplay is here. Now, by the time you are watching this, I have already recorded the official College Football Dynasty deep dive that EA did post, so that is on my channel right now. So if you want to check that out, be sure to check that out. Man, oh man, it looked absolutely amazing. And in this one, it looks like we're gonna get some more details. He's probably gonna read off the blog post that they posted. I want to say they might have posted today or maybe tomorrow. Not maybe tomorrow, or maybe yesterday. Not really sure, but cannot wait to hop into this. Oh, before we actually hop into it, I will like for you guys to know I will be live streaming either today or tomorrow. More likely to be tomorrow. We'll be live streaming the Texas versus Washington game. I did on Twitch yesterday, so tomorrow I will be live streaming that, the second half of that. And also, I will be reacting to some more College Football 25 news, updates, or whatever they got going out. So, join me on YouTube live. On YouTube. I might be on Twitch as well. Not really sure yet, but go ahead and join your boy. But, no more talking. Let's jump right into it.
The Dynasty Deep Dive for EA Sports College Football 25 is finally here. They just dropped a trailer and they dropped a massive blog on the website. Now in this video, I have condensed the blog down a decent bit so that this video doesn't go over an hour long, because yes, the blog is literally that long.
Yeah, I heard it was like
1,000 words, over 80 pages.
Damn!
So I've condensed
80!
You're going to see some trailer clips, you're going to see a lot of screenshots, and I'm going to go over all the important details you need to know about Dynasty. And if you don't want to miss out on the other upcoming videos on this channel for College Football 25, like the gameplay we're going to be getting soon and the Road to Glory deep dive, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on so you don't miss any of those uploads. Trying to get to 600k subs before the release of this game, and if everybody watching just subscribed, we could hit that number in a few days. So there's three big pillars to Dynasty mode for College Football 25. Build your coach, build your program, and deliver the world of college football. So let's start with building your coach. EA met with college coaches and experts to break down real-life coaches, and they said this: what we found was that both current and former coaches broadly fit into three main categories. Some are incredible recruiters, while others are motivators who maximize the potential of their players, and lastly, tacticians out-scheme their opponents with on-field X's and O's. There were also a number of coaches who were more of a hybrid between two categories, but two things were loud and clear: no coach was great at everything, and there is no single path to being a great coach. All of our research and discussions led us to build a coach experience centered around three goals. No coach can be great at everything. There's a rock, paper, scissors relationship between coach types with no dominant progression path, and coordinators and how you build your staff matter. So let's start with coach progression. Progressing your coach through playing games. As you play, you will complete coach goals that award XP. Once you earn enough XP, you will level up your coach to a maximum level of 50 and be awarded coach points. Coach points can be spent to upgrade your coach's abilities. More on that later. There are 4 coach XP goal categories that can be single game, weekly, season, or career goals. You've got the draft, you've got game, you've got recruiting, and you've got stats. I will leave this up on the screen so you can read what each thing does, but for sake of making...
Alright, let me pause it right quick. I'm gonna read it out for you guys. Alright, first up, we got draft. Pro draft goes based on which round your player is drafted in. For example, player drafted in the first round. Okay. Game. Individual game goals that range from a single play result like interception and rushing touchdown to a full game result. For example, beat your rival, beat a top 25 team, and win a national championship. I love the sound of that right there, boy. Recruiting. Determined by your success on the recruiting trail. Recruiting goals can be specific to a single prospect. For example, sign a 5-star prospect, or a full season like sign the best recruiting class in the country. Ooh. I do want to have one with LSU, but they already like a established team. I don't know. Stats. Weekly goals like ranked in the top 10 season stat goals. For example, 4,000 team passing yards. Damn. and ranked top 5 in offensive yards and career goals, like win 5 national championships. We going for 7. If you guys do not know, 7 is my favorite number. We going for that. We are definitely going for 7. All right, let's jump right.
In this video, not so long,
back.
we're going to keep it moving. You'll be able to check your completed goals as well as your progression towards certain goals. If you complete a goal,
Look at these screenshots, man.
There's also 5 progression speed settings, so you can modify how fast coaches progress in your dynasty. Coach archetypes. The archetype system is similar to your traditional RPG classes, where all of your party members have a specific class or archetype and role. To be successful, everyone must work together. It says here, our system is no different. All coaches will start with the base class or coach archetype, which can be thought of as a special ability in a traditional RPG. Just like our real life coaches, the base archetypes fall into 3 categories: recruiting, motivation, and scheme. From your base archetype, you can progress in multiple ways. You can become an expert in a single category, like recruiting, where you become an elite recruiter and excel on the recruiting trail. Alternatively, you can become a hybrid coach who is strong in multiple areas. For example, a talent developer who is great at both talent acquisition, which is recruiting, and player development, which is motivation. The ultimate goal is to become a program builder or CEO atop the world of college football. Achieving an elite archetype
I like the sound of that.
a combination of on-field success and ability progression. There is no single formula to reach these statuses. You will be able to mix and match different ability combinations and progression paths, leading to strong customization. In today, there are 11 different archetypes, each with their own focuses and perks. Together, they form a rock paper
That's a lot.
relationship.
That's a
where there is
good
no
amount.
dominant
11?
archetype. While there is no doubt that talent acquisition,
Okay, that's good. It's no dominant archetype.
focusing solely on recruiting can leave you vulnerable in other areas. With that being said, remember that no coach can be great at everything. So how do you upgrade your archetypes and what does it do? Each archetype requires specific prerequisites and objectives to be met before they can be purchased. For instance, to become an elite recruiter, you need to invest 50 coach points in the recruiter archetype and sign 2 top 5 recruiting classes. Once these criteria are fulfilled, you can unlock the archetype using coach points. When creating your coach, you choose your starting archetype, with the other 2 becoming available for purchase without additional requirements. And just so we're clear, when they say purchase, they mean with coach points. This isn't a microtransaction thing. It just means with the different points you earn from completing.
I thought so. Coach points. Okay, that's good.
Unlocking an archetype provides access to new abilities and enhances your opportunities in the coaching carousel. Each archetype offers a unique perk when active. For example, the tactician archetype grants the winner perk, which awards additional coach XP for every game won. Your active archetype is automatically determined. If you own the program builder or CEO archetypes, they remain active regardless of your spending in other archetypes. Track your progress in the coach ability screen, where you can view unlock requirements, perks, and your advancement in each archetype. As you allocate coach points across archetypes, the spider graph in the center of the screen reflects your coach's evolving profile. How do the abilities work? Once you own an archetype, you can purchase the abilities within it. The game is introducing more than 50 coach abilities. Each ability can have 4 tiers,
50?
and every tier has a purchase cost associated with it. Every archetype, with the exception of Scheme Guru, Program Builder, and CEO, has their abilities broken down by position group. This increases the level of depth and specialization each coach has. No longer is a coach great at recruiting across the board. Now, coaches will specialize in specific position groups, making your staff composition.
I like that change right
Are you a
there.
quarterback whisperer? Are you great in the trenches and committed to
Okay, make it more
How does your
realistic
staff
and a
complement?
little bit
There are
tougher.
also coach abilities with core gameplay effects. For example, the Scheme Guru archetype focuses on your gameplay style. If you are a coach who likes to play fast, you can upgrade fast tempo offense, providing you with the following:
Oh yeah, that's me all day.
pack at tier 1, caught napping at tier 2, on their heels at tier 3, and tip your hand at tier 4. And you can see the explanations for this.
Hold on. Before I read the explanations that they got right here, me personally, I'm a tier 1 guy and a tier 3 guy, in my opinion. The tip your hand thing, okay. I'm not good at reading defenses like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I know certain defenses. One thing I am good at though, with as far as reading, is blitz. Like, if a team is about to blitz, you know what I mean? Especially like a SEC team, which is most of the games I do watch. Like, I can kind of, you know, see when are they gonna blitz, who they're gonna blitz, you know, something like that. But let's read this right quick. You got battery pack tier 1 offensive players, fatigue slower, and hurry up. Wait, did I read that right? Offensive players fatigue slower and hurry up. Okay. Okay. Court napping, increased delay to defenders looking to the sideline at the snap. If you remember the LSU Alabama game in 2019, on the heels tier 3 team composer boost for first downs game while running hurry up. Tip your hand tier 4 chance to see the defense's coverage shell and hurry up. Okay,
You can
I like
also
this.
make your teammate
Oh my
or
goodness.
who doesn't work against themselves and is unfazed by rowdy home field crowds. And here are some more examples of what that would look like at different tiers. Of course, balance is critically important here, so there are defensive counters to all offensive playstyle abilities. The program builder and CEO archetypes are different in that they are only available to head coaches. The abilities within them are diverse and range from roster management and program culture to home field advantage and recruiting pipeline boosts. What about coordinators? Both coordinators and head coaches have the same set of abilities and archetypes available to them, leading to a natural progression from coordinator to head coach and increased importance on staff management, where your coordinators either complement your strengths or shore up your deficiencies. All of the abilities your coaching staff own stack, increasing the effective and ability. Abilities owned by the head coach have the greatest impact. The impact of coordinator-owned abilities depends on whether or not the ability is related to their side of the ball. Climbing the coaching ladder. Your journey starts when you sign your first coach contract. When creating your dynasty, you will have the option to select whether you want to be a head coach, offensive.
Who y'all going to be? Head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator.
Expectations just like a head coach. All roles will have full control of recruiting and be able to play both sides of the ball during gameplay. Every time you start a new coaching job, you'll be asked to sign a contract with that school. The contract will have a set contract length and performance expectations. Failure to meet those expectations will result in bad things happening. School expectations are determined by the school's current team prestige and program standing. The better the school, the higher the expectations. These are the 4 types of contract expectations: win X amount of games, win a conference championship, make the college football playoff, or win a national championship. Your job security will fluctuate throughout the season based on the results of your games and whether or not you are trending towards meeting your contract expectations.
I like this screenshot right here with the hot seat thing.
A hot seat, and if your seat gets too hot, you'll be fired and looking for a new job in the coaching carousel. All coaches have a coach prestige letter grade that ranges from A+ to F. Coach prestige is reflective of your ability to meet contract expectations adjusted for the school and role that you have. For example, meeting expectations and winning 5 games at a small school will have significantly smaller impact than winning the SEC championship at a traditional powerhouse school. So let's talk about the coaching carousel. It says in College Football 25, we set out to recreate the chaos that is the college football coaching carousel, along with the domino effects it brings. Now, instead of happening over a single week, the coaching carousel takes place over the course of 5 weeks from conference championship week to the end of bowl season, just like the real world. The coaching carousel starts during the conference championship week. Schools decide to fire, extend, or let coaches' contracts expire. Coaches receive notifications if they're affected. Head coaches can also fire their coordinators. During bowl season, initial job offers are sent out. Coaches will be notified with a view job offers action if they have offers, or a generic coach carousel action if not. This allows them to see job offers in open positions nationwide. The carousel continues over weeks as school hires and poach coaches. New job openings emerge. Coaches can view job offers including preferences, previous coach changes, top candidates, and contract details.
They can see the previous coaches? Oh, that's what's up. Oh, that's what this screen is.
Coach any bowl games. A countdown in the Dynasty Hub shows weeks until the job changes. New head coaches can manage staff and hire coordinators during the carousel. If coaches are fired or their contracts expire without a new job, they are placed on a new team after the national championship game. Each school has a persona which determines what they are looking for in their next coach. Schools will evaluate candidates across the following criteria: level, scheme, archetype, pipeline, and coach prestige. If you want to pause the video and read what
hey, you took the words right out of my mouth. Alright, level, the higher a coach's level, the more powerful are and the most abilities they have. Schools are always looking for the highest caliber coach they can find. Scheme: certain schools like the military academics want a coach who runs a specific style of offense or defense. Archetype: schools have preference on the type of coach they are looking to hire, just like the real world boobers prefer elite coaches who are a program builder or CEO. pipeline. All coaches have a primary pipeline which provides a boost in recruiting. This is meant to simulate an area of the country where they have strong ties and relationships in recruiting. Schools prefer coaches whose primary pipeline is the same as one of the school's recruiting pipelines. Coach prestige. A coach prestige is compared against the school's team prestige. A 5-star program is not going to hire a coach who is mid or only a C coach prestige. This right here, I absolutely love this right here. So you not gonna hire somebody that's like, come on, no offense to JUCO, but you not gonna hire somebody from JUCO that won what 5 games, 6 games. Let's be realistic here. You know, you're gonna want to go, especially like the SEC schools, hell, the ACC schools, even is Big 12 still? I can't remember all of them. But like the higher levels, I like this right here. I like this right here a lot.
Each one is, you can, but we're going to keep it moving so that this video doesn't get way too long. It says here it's also important to keep in mind the domino effect when you're evaluating whether or not to accept an offer. Just because a job isn't open today doesn't mean it won't be available next week. Now let's talk about managing your staff. As a head coach, you will have the opportunity to manage your staff and hire/fire your coordinators. Remember, the coach archetype system does not...
There's a lot of stuff I got right down.
Making who you surround yourself with that much more important. Staff management is your opportunity to build your staff the way that you want in an effort to put yourself in the best position to succeed as a program. During conference championship week, you can fire coordinators, which is your only chance to do so unless they are hired by another school. Coordinators have a standard 2-year contract that auto-renews. If their contract is nearing its end, they might be poached by another school during the carousel, giving you a chance to hire a replacement. Starting from one, you can hire new coordinators. You'll see a curated list of candidates.
Oh, I'm definitely getting the D coordinator for LSU.
Type, coach level.
That's the first thing I'm doing.
Are available. You can also review their talent tree to assess their fit with your staff. Offering a position doesn't guarantee acceptance. Each week, you can only offer one coach per position. After advancing the week, you'll know if they accepted. If not, you can offer another coach. If a position remains unfilled after the carousel, you'll automatically receive a coordinator suitable for your program's caliber. Build your program. There is no question that in today's
so they might know best.
And talent acquisition are at the forefront of college football and building your program. Players can now transfer whenever they want, and they have expectations for you and your program. Some are looking to play early, others want to win a championship and play in big games, and stars want to grow their brand beyond the field. Aligning with what your program can do for them has never been more important.
It'd be interesting to see how the brand thing works out.
Determine what program management should look like for the game. It says ultimately we landed on 4 core goals when building your program. Humanize recruits by giving them unique needs and motivations that the player has to discover by interacting with the recruit. Differentiate regions of the country by player caliber, quality, and type to authentically capture high school talent based on historical real-world data. Represent the different resources available to schools, ensuring that the top schools can blanket the country while smaller schools will need to be more targeted with their approach, and make the transfer portal feel authentically unpredictable. Welcome to staged recruiting. It says we're introducing a new stage recruiting experience built around 3 distinct phases: discovery, pitch, and close. Just like in the real world, every recruit will be in a different stage of their process. Where they are in their process will dictate how you interact with them and the level of engagement they require. Recruiting begins with discovery, where you gather information about a prospect quickly to assess their alignment with your program. Once a recruit announces their top 5 schools, you move into the pitch phase. Here you sell your program and how well it meets the recruit's motivations. The final stage is close, where you host the recruit for an official visit to make a lasting impression. A successful visit can lead to significant gains and possibly a verbal commitment. The recruit's final decision comes on National Signing Day. It says here, when we talk about being 134 ways to play, we are talking more than just on-field gameplay. Every school is graded from D- to A+ across 14 different categories. Which I
wonder who the worst team is
grades.
in college football.
Who a program is and what their strengths and weaknesses are. Now here are the 14 different categories, and they're pretty much self-explanatory even though they come with descriptions. You've got playing time, playing style, championship contender, program tradition, campus lifestyle, stadium atmosphere, pro potential, brand exposure, academic prestige, conference prestige, coach stability, athletic facilities, and proximity to home. Each grade has a unique set of grading
The
criteria.
proximity to home thing
Playing
seems
time
like it's
graded
probably
on a
going to be
per
one of the most
player
important
basis.
things.
The player's overall or projected overall, if they are a recruit, is compared to the team's roster to project how many years it will take for them to become a starter. Actions you do on the recruiting trail will impact the playing time grade for both recruits and players on your current roster. Even if a player is a starter today, signing new players and recruiting may negatively impact their playing time grade and cause them to enter the transfer portal. On the other hand, Championship Contender uses a combination of your top 25 poll ranking, team prestige, and an assessment of your current roster's quality with Bud Elliott's
Damn,
blue chip
Arizona State
ratio.
got 81
Most grades
offense?
update dynamically throughout the season, with some only updating at the end of the season. It's important to keep tabs on your grades throughout the season and how you're trending, because a slide in your grades could trigger decommits from verbally committed recruits or sudden transfer portal exodus at the end of the season. You can view all of your grades and detailed information in the My School screen accessible from
I like these whole like
helps
screens that they
strengths
got.
and weaknesses, offering steps to improve each grade. Recruits and where they come from. Each season, over 3,500 recruits are generated nationwide,
That is
and each recruiting
a
class
hell of a
brings
lot of
talent
recruits,
and
man.
positions. Some years will feature abundant quarterback talent, while others have fewer standout prospects. Additionally, the quality and quantity of recruits vary by region. For example, Southern California is renowned for producing top quarterback talent, while East Texas consistently produces exceptional wide receivers. This approach ensures authenticity in representing high
that
school
is
talent
true, ain't it?
across different regions. What a recruit cares about. Each recruit cares about one of 14 motivations aligned with specific grades. Their star rating influences which motivations matter most. 5-star recruits prioritize advancing to the next level, winning championships, and NIL opportunities, while 2-star recruits focus more on proximity to home, coach stability, and academics. Every recruit has 3 motivations they deeply care about, forming their ideal pitch. During discovery, recruiters aim to identify this quickly to gauge program alignment. If a recruit's ideal pitch includes a deal breaker, which is a non-negotiable motivation, failure to meet it means they won't engage with your program. Deal breakers persist throughout a player's time on your roster, reflecting a commitment you must uphold. Failing to meet a deal breaker could prompt a player to consider transferring at the season's end. Recruiting pipeline. It says when we analyze historical recruiting data, it was clear that even in today's day and age, recruiting is still highly regionalized. We discussed various recruiting strategies and tactics with current and former coaches, in particular how they handled recruiting in different areas of the country. First and foremost, it was clear that not every state is created equal when it comes to recruiting talent and pipelines.
Yeah, that's true.
Is much more valuable than one in New York. This made clear that the traditional approach of having each state with its own pipeline wouldn't.
Yeah, because New York is mostly known for it's like a basketball. It's kind of like North Carolina. It's known for basketball.
That come from them, as well as how schools tend to look at them. To determine pipeline strength, each school's recruiting classes over the past decade was examined. This data informed a tiered ranking system, assigning schools a pipeline level based on historical recruiting success. Higher pipeline levels increase a school's initial appeal to recruits and the effectiveness of their recruiting pitches. Pipeline levels are permanent, ensuring that schools historically strong in a region maintain a competitive edge. For instance, Florida schools excel in Central Florida, including areas like Lakeland, Tampa, and Orlando, while LSU's influence extends into East Texas and the Gulf Coast. Together, pipelines and
Texas, my goodness.
Experience. While it's still possible to land 4 stars as a small school, it will require
once you give birth to somebody in Texas,
moving on
they
to
a football star.
In top schools. Every recruit begins with an initial list of schools they're interested in. They evaluate each school based on the My Schools grades, ideal pitch, motivations, and the home pipeline proximity. For example, recruits from Atlanta often favor southeastern schools initially, but some may consider schools outside the region if they better fit their needs. Prospects valuing academics tend to consider similar schools. For instance, recruits interested in Rice often also look at Vanderbilt, Northwestern, and Stanford. Recruits may be open to any school.
Rice could be a good team to start your program with. Do your thing with.
As recruiting progresses, they narrow down their choices from open to top 8 to top 5 to top 3, and then they ultimately commit. Your goal is to stay above the cut line each week by adjusting your recruiting strategy based on
Rice at?
recruit statuses. So let's talk about the 3 stages of recruiting.
Before we talk about this, I might sound dumb by asking, where is Rice at? I don't think I've ever I probably watched one or 2 games while I was waiting for the big game. But I don't know any player from Rice, like that went to school at Rice. I don't know. Who's their biggest player from Rice? Who's the biggest player from Rice? I ain't gonna lie, Rice might be one of the ones I might start mines with.
The first
Write that down
recruiting is discovery.
in my
The
head.
goal is to learn information about the prospect as quickly as possible. Discovery starts with prospect identification. You can find prospects to recruit from the prospect list. The prospect list defaults to the recommended filter, which identifies recruits who would be a good fit for you. You can quickly filter the prospect list by positions or by top prospect, star rating, and state. The advanced search allows you to search for prospects that match a specific set of criteria. You can search for recruits using the following criteria: position, player archetype, state, minimum star rating, height, weight, handedness for quarterbacks only, and interest in your school. When viewing a recruit in the prospect list, you'll be able to see bio information about the recruit as well as key recruiting information like deal breakers and how interested they are in your school. Team needs. When setting up your board, know your roster strengths and weaknesses, how many graduates and returning starters you'll have. The team needs spreadsheet grades each position and details roster breakdowns by school year. It shows required players per position and tracks signings/targets. Scheme will also affect your positional needs. For example, the veer and shoot will need 10 wide receivers, whereas the pro style only needs 6. And this is tied to your playbook choice. Recruiting hours.
I'm definitely going with a
Hours
pro
are your
style
currency
offense.
for actions and scouting each week, determined by team prestige and season phase. Higher prestige teams have more hours. For instance, a 5-star program might start with 1,000 preseason hours compared to 350 for a 1-star program. Seasonal timing also affects recruiting hours. Preseason and offseason provide more time without Saturday games. In addition to the maximum recruiting hours you can spend in a week, each prospect has a maximum number of hours that you can spend on them in a given week. The default maximum is 50 hours, but this can be increased to a maximum of 70 hours if all 3 coaches have the always be recruiting ability for that position. The recruiting board. The recruiting board is where you'll focus most of your recruiting efforts. It lists all the recruits on your board with key details, allocated hours, scouting status, scholarship offers, scheduled visits, stage, and interest level. You'll also be able to filter this list. You can filter by prospects who are ready for a visit, prospects you haven't offered a scholarship to, recruiting stage, position, and more. Selecting a recruit lets you interact and view their bio details. A progression bar at the top tracks overall stage advancement. The overview tab summarizes each school's progress with the recruit. When a school bar fills, the recruit progresses to the next stage. Teams below the cut line are locked out from further communication.
I keep it. This is a long ass video.
Before you start offering scholarships and dictating recruiting hours,
I love it though.
important
It's
to
so
make
much
sure
information.
You're targeting the right ones for your program. During the preseason, you are only able to scout and offer scholarships, so it is a great time to scout players and ensure you are targeting the right prospects. Prior to scouting a player, you'll only be able to see their star rating, height, weight, hometown, position, and archetype. You'll see question marks on their attributes, abilities, and development traits.
Shout out to the person that just commented on my I think my last video. Shout out to you.
4 states of scouting: unscouted, partially scouted, mostly scouted, and fully scouted. When you scout a prospect, you uncover limited information, fully or partially revealing attributes and abilities, but not their development trait. Coaches stress that identifying a player's development trait requires intuition and direct contact, often revealed on National Signing Day or potentially during an official visit with the mind reader ability. Lower rated recruits pose more ambiguity and uncertainty in their skill set due to less exposure compared to higher rated prospects visible in media and high profile events. This uncertainty is captured in the gem/bust system when scouting may reveal a hidden talent. A 4-star gem could perform like a 5-star, while a 4-star bust might play more like a 3-star. Even a 5-star bust will remain a solid player. Now, how do you find your ideal pitch? Once you've identified a prospect who meets your initial criteria, it's time to uncover their motivations. Each prospect has 3 motivations that form their ideal pitch. Quickly discovering their ideal pitch aligns their motivations with your program, crucial for stage 2 pitching. Stage 1 offers 5 recruiting actions to uncover intel and gain influence with the prospect. Each action requires recruiting hours, with higher hours accelerating information discovery and influence. The 5 recruiting actions are as follows. You can offer a scholarship, you can search social media, you can DM the player, you can contact friends and family, or you can just send the house and go all out for them. Now we move on to stage 2, the pitch. After the recruit narrows their top schools down to 5,
this stage
it's time
2.
to begin pitching the prospect on your school and what you have to offer. When pitching a prospect, there are 2 different pitch types you can use. You can soft sell, which awards a moderate amount of influence when choosing the correct pitch, but it also limits the downside risk and penalty of pitching the prospect on something they do not care about. You also have a hard sell, which provides the most influence when choosing the correct pitch, but it also comes with the largest penalty if you pitch the wrong thing. After choosing Choosing a pitch type, you select a pitch consisting of 3 motivations from a total of 20 pitches. For instance, the Sunday bound pitch emphasis, championship contention, conference prestige, and your school's track record of player success. To gain a competitive edge and align better with the prospect, you can sway their motivations. Successfully swaying gives them a new ideal pitch.
Marshall might be another good one.
Potentially creating a third combination. The likelihood of success increases with overlap between the original ideal pitch and the one you're proposing. For example, if their ideal pitch includes campus lifestyle, proximity to home, and program tradition, you might sway them towards a pitch like college experience, which includes academic prestige and stadium atmosphere. Then we move on to stage 3, the close. The final recruiting step is closing. This involves bringing the prospect for an official visit to make a lasting impression. To schedule a visit, the recruit must be considering your school among their top 5 choices, and you must
so they gotta be considering
the
it.
cost
Okay,
to
that's
schedule
good to
a
know.
visit is 40 recruiting hours separate from your weekly allocation. Visits are crucially timed around the recruit's bye week or home game. You can host up to 4 recruits per week. Timing is strategic. While a big rivalry game can boost your appeal, it also risks losing the recruit to another commitment beforehand. Game day and opponent strength also influence visits. Higher stakes games offer greater influence if won, whereas lower tier opponents provide little upside and potential downside if lost. Complementary positions among visiting recruits enhance the visit, while competitive ones distract. So for example, you may not want to have multiple QBs visiting at the same time, whereas if you have a quarterback and a wide receiver at the same time, that could be a good thing. During the visit,
and they did mention that in the trailer. I mean, the deep dive.
And your My School grades. A successful visit.
Hold on right quick. Sorry for the pause, but I know in the deep dive, if you guys have not watched it, they did mention that you can have a quarterback and a wide receiver go to your school on the same day, so then they can get like a more what's the word? More familiar with each other. You know what I mean? I think that's really cool. That's a unique thing right there.
Can lead to a verbal commitment, but you must maintain engagement until signing day. If committed, a recruit with a deal breaker will decommit if your grade drops before signing day. Once signed, your focus shifts to retention and player happiness and post-transfer portal concerns. This next section is called "Hey Coach, I'm sorry, but I've decided to leave," and it says here the transfer portal has drastically reshaped college football.
The transfer portal has been good and bad,
and risks of losing key players
and confusing.
Recruits, players on your roster can have deal breakers, which are promises between you and them. Failing to meet these expectations can lead them to consider
so if you break your promise
after the deal breaker is violated correlates with their overall rating. Your actions throughout the season, such as coaching changes, can affect your My School grades and increase.
Damn, what if you offer somebody more playing time and you like maybe not
in school, displaying their projected draft round. Once a player decides to leave, you can attempt to persuade them to stay. The success of these persuasion attempts depends on the player's overall and your coach prestige. After advancing the week, you'll see draft results reflecting real-world data trends based on the player overall and position. Each offseason, you must trim your roster back down to 85
I'm gonna do my best
if you exceed this limit, you'll need to
persuade them
to transfer. Even if you're at or below the 85 player cap, you can still make room for
have him starting, put him on special teams.
However, you can't ask newly signed freshmen to transfer as soon as they arrive on campus. So let's dive just a little bit deeper on the transfer portal here. It says, as we said at the beginning, one of our goals is to make
let me hear this.
the portal authentically unpredictable. This begins with players leaving. Some schools may face a mass exodus of players, while others may be left untouched. Once all the players have decided whether to stay or go, the transfer portal will officially open at the start of offseason recruiting. During the 4-week offseason recruiting period, transfers make their final decisions on National Signing Day, causing the rapid roster changes. Teams face decisions: pursue high school recruits or target immediate impact transfers.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Motivation, scouting, and selling your program is crucial. Transfers are rated based on overall and ranked nationally, statewide, and by position. Each has a unique ideal pitch and motivations, including a deal breaker that prompted their transfer. They evaluate schools based on alignment with their motivations, considering pipelines and proximity to home. High demand 4- and 5-star transfers limit their choices to 5 schools. Others vary in the number they consider. Signing day. Just like the real world, College Football 25 features both early signing day and national signing day. Each the start of bowl season and after the
Nah,
regular season
this
is
a
completed.
fire-ass
Signing day
screenshot. I ain't
takes place
see this.
7 weeks after the national championship. On signing day, players committed to a school beforehand sign their letter of intent, preventing decommits. Most prospects commit by early signing day, but some decisions extend into the later cycle. Transfers also sign their letters on national signing day. Unsigned recruits after national signing day become walk-ons in the offseason. No longer do recruited players disappear without a commitment. The team with the highest influence on signing day secures the player, provided they offered a scholarship.
Okay, I like that change right there. That's a good change.
Position changes. Following signing day, you will have the opportunity to change player positions ahead of off-season progression. Players will be able to change to any other position regardless of their original position. The position change spreadsheet will show you their projected overall at the new position, which archetype they would become, and where they would rank on your depth chart. So let's move on to player progression. It says the offseason is the most impactful time period when it comes to player development. While players can improve throughout the season, the bulk of their progression and development happens during the spring and summer. Players automatically progress their attributes and physical abilities, with mental abilities remaining unchanged to emphasize player differentiation. Player progression primarily occurs during the offseason following position changes. Progression depends on factors like school year, coach abilities, and developmental trait. Younger players such as rising sophomores experience larger leaps and attributes to reflect real-world physical maturation differences. Coaching staff impacts development significantly. For instance, motivators
it looks so good.
Provide bonus XP to a position group every time a player at that position is drafted in the first 3 rounds. There are 4 different player development traits: normal, impact, star, and elite. Skill groups. Players progress by upgrading entire skill groups rather than individual attributes like trucking. Each skill group, such as the running back power skill group, encompasses related attributes like strength, stiff arm, toughness, jumping, and injury, with a maximum level of 10. Some players may have a lower cap for certain skill groups. Skill group caps represent a player's maximum potential in that area, varying by player, skill group, position, and archetype. Once a skill group reaches its cap, further upgrades are only possible for coaches with the architect archetype, using abilities like limitless or put a ring on it. And when it comes to abilities,
put a ring on it,
to upgrade their physical abilities if they meet the rating requirement. Every tier of a physical ability has an associated attribute requirement.
Shifty, sidestep, takeover, 360,
a player must have 95 toughness. Impact players. Impact players are back and are a quick way for you to easily identify the key players on the other team. Every team will have at least one offensive
I like that.
impact player. However,
I'm definitely going to use
there's
that.
no limit to the number of impact players a team can have. Explosive offense.
It's no limit?
Where it might have 5 or 6 impact players across the board, letting you know straight up that they are about to cook. Wear and tear. With the introduction of the new wear and tear system, the week-to-week management of your players is more essential.
This is probably one of the most interesting things.
Gameplay. The more damaged the body part is, the more
and I love
performance.
like how they're showing it.
Incur wear and tear damage during the super sim.
Look at errors.
Wear and tear damage based on the severity of the injuries. For example, if a running back severely injured his right ankle but only slightly injured his left shoulder in the previous game, his shoulder will fully recover the next week, while his ankle would show only slight improvement. Managing player health involves deciding whether to rest them to promote full recovery or risk playing them.
It's gonna make you decide. It's gonna make decisions matter that much more.
So it says here, during development, members of the team were able to participate in mock selection committee sessions hosted by the College Football Playoff.
12
better
teams.
Understand the process of how the committee determines their ranking.
If my LSU don't get in real life, I'm gonna be pissed.
Able to apply those learnings to project how the committee will value wins and losses in a world where going undefeated in a power conference is going to be less and less common.
Time out and play. So in this right here, hold on, who's number 1? All right, so Oregon is number 1 in this. All right, hold on. Damn, they got Texas A&M beating Michigan. Texas A&M and NC State got Texas A&M winning that. Oh, there Rice right there. All right, Oregon beat the brakes off of Rice. All right, you got Texas A&M and Oregon. Oregon beat Texas A&M. No surprise there. And then right here in the Orange Bowl, you got Texas A&M versus Oregon. Oregon absolutely whooped that ass and took it to the back. And so you got Oregon in the college football national championship. On the other side, what the fuck? Georgia and Miami 10-7. Wow. Okay. Wait, what? Oh, huh? Oh no. Oh my god. I'm reading the wrong thing. Sorry. 31-28 Georgia. All right, closer than I probably would expect it, but hey, and wait a minute. Got Ole Miss upsetting Georgia. Ole Miss going to the Cotton Bowl. Got Texas and Utah. I'm a big fan of Utah's defense. Texas winning that. Then Ohio State beats the brakes off of Texas 34-19. 50 burger. Damn. 50-32. Then you got the champ. Wait. Didn't this happen in the first ever college football playoff? The first year that they brung it, they had this, but it was the other way around, I believe. Then Ohio State was the first national champion. Well, in the college football playoff era. Yeah, I said that right. Damn.
And the perception of schedule imbalance continues to widen. While the media and coach polls
is going to be crazy this year.
Wait for the calendar to turn to November before you start to get the first peek at how the 12-team playoff bracket is shaping up. It says we created unique logic for the college football playoff poll to model how we anticipate the rankings to look in the new format. Generating a believable opinion-based poll is no easy feat, especially one where we are projecting what may happen versus being able to use real-world results as our reference point. Each week of the season, coaches...
Yeah, it is a lot tougher.
The 12-team bracket update based on the most recent
because you just don't know.
The final rankings and bracket are revealed following the completion of the conference championship games. In terms of seeding, the only way to get a first-round bye is to be one of the 4 highest-ranked conference champions. So an undefeated Notre Dame or any independent, as well as a winner of the Pac-12, can be seeded no higher than 5th and will never be eligible for the playoff first round. The new 12-team format brings excitement with first-round games played on campus, offering teams full home field advantage. Playoff quarterfinals and semifinals are held at bowl venues from the former New Year's Six, the Orange, Sugar, Rose, Fiesta, Cotton, and Peach Bowl. The college football championship game has its own rotation of hosts. Starting with the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, the championship game will rotate through an additional 10 locations before looping back around and you're deeper into your dynasty. 34 bowl games are also featured.
What's the 10 locations?
Tie-ins. Conferences. Every conference
we already got Atlanta.
2024 alignment. The Sun Belt is the last conference to feature divisions, and the scheduling logic has been set for both current season as well as the future year rotation based on each conference's rule set. The SEC will accurately follow the 8-game with 1 protected opponent rotation, while the Big Ten will utilize their 9-game flex protect model and so on. If you prefer to reset the conferences to a previous configuration, push forward to a potential future, or just blow everything up and make whatever conference membership you want and adjust the rules to your liking,
I ain't gonna lie, I'm changing a lot of things with the conferences.
You can adjust any conference to as little as 4 schools to as large as 20. Schools can also go independent for maximum schedule flexibility, though it might forfeit a potential first-round bye in the college football playoff. Each conference rules can be edited, including division presence names, number of annual conference games, hosting of the conference championship games, and more. Moving conference does not mean you are stuck with the old conference jersey patches or the 25-yard line. These will dynamically update based on the conference membership.
Every image I'm seeing just makes me even more
rotate
like,
and
oh
that
my
the home
god.
and away gets flipped each new year. If it's the 3rd Saturday in October, Tennessee better be playing Alabama. If it's Thanksgiving weekend, then the Iron Bowl, the big game, Florida State versus Florida, and a host of other rivalry games better be on the table next to the turkey and the stuffing. The scheduling system will make sure that those special games get filled in the correct weeks before adding in the rest of the conference and non-conference slate to get each school to their 12 games. For non-conference games, we have included as many real-world games as were announced by the time we had to lock schedules. So when you get to 2027 and 2028, the Florida State-Georgia home game and home series will already be scheduled. Week 0 has also become a recent tradition in college football, allowing some schools to start their seasons a week earlier than Labor Day weekend. These games are scheduled in the first year of Dynasty mode and continue in subsequent years, though
I didn't even realize
will begin their seasons on Labor Day weekend. And you can set your own schedule. You can customize your non-conference game schedule each preseason using custom schedules. Be edited while non-conference games are editable. And of course, we got a team builder.
I like that.
It basically just says Team Builder is back, and you can import up to 16 Team Builder teams and a private.
Yep. This gonna be fire.
We need to replace existing FBS schools with the Team Builder teams they want to add when setting up the dynasty. They also got some information in here about redshirting. It says college football has evolved both on and off the field, including recent overhauls and how the red shirts are managed. Players can now participate in up to 4 games per season and still retain their red shirt eligibility. Each preseason, you select which players you intend to redshirt. Throughout the season, season, you can track their games played to decide whether you want to continue playing them or preserve their redshirt status. And what about the trophies? Well, the rivalry trophies will be in the game and on the line, and the winner of each contest will take home their trophy and the bragging rights for that year. Of course, you've got the Heisman Award, which you can track tabs on the Heisman Watch to see who's in the running.
Nah, look at this screenshot.
It says we have individual positional awards like the Lou Groza, Lombardi, the Unitas Golden Arm Award, among others. We also have the Broyles Award for the
there are hella trophies out there in college
Head
football.
Coach of the Year Award. Preseason and postseason All-American teams are named annually as well. In the preseason, both first and second team All-American teams are named at the national and conference level. The postseason All-American teams feature first, second, and freshman teams at the national and conference level. They also briefly mentioned stat tracking in the record book. The record book covers player records on a career, season, and game level. There's also coaching.
Oh, I'm trying to break Joe Burrow's record.
Lifetime accomplishments
for LSU.
Serves as a way to get a look at each.
Well, I think somebody has ever in real life broke that record.
Look at what jobs may become available on the coaching carousel. And
but it don't matter.
We've got pride stickers. It says for certain schools like Ohio State and Florida State.
Oh, I did see a screenshot about this.
Helmet over the course of the season are as iconic as any other tradition in
I love this detail.
Season, the helmet starts fresh, and over the course of the season, based on the player's performance, pride stickers are added to give visual representation of that player's accomplishments. And it says that they worked with each school to understand their fill pattern to make sure that the stickers are being applied over the course of the season, are being added in the correct pattern based on how the school applies them in real life. I really tried to make this video as short as I could, but they just put out way too much information. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to know some more about gameplay for college football,
my head hurts, man. My head hurts, man. In a good way. And that's not even all of it. You heard him at the end say I tried to make it short, and he ended up making a 36-minute video. And I've been recording for what, about almost 50 minutes? My goodness. I'm super excited. Man, oh man, I was never a Dynasty player, but once I started playing Madden, like uploading videos about like the franchise mode and different things like that, I'm really involved, and I think I'm gonna be even more in depth like with it. It's a lot going on here, man. Oh man, hopefully you guys did enjoy this reaction. Hopefully you guys, hey, if you guys stuck through, go ahead and leave this video a like. And subscribe to your boy if you stuck through. I'm gonna try to edit this video down to a good length. Hopefully, we shall see. Hopefully, it's not a 50-minute video. But hey, if it is, it is. So much information. Love you guys though. Hope you guys did enjoy this reaction, and I'll see you guys in the next one.